VeggieTales, the good, the bad, and the silly. Bong! The clock struck high noon. Cowboy Larry was shaking in his boots. It was the day of his big cattle drive test at cowboy school. Sheriff Bob, the cattle drive teacher, said, "Next up, Cowboy Larry, Botch Scallion, and the Sunburned Kid." Cowboy Larry's heart pounded like a hammer. Cowboy Larry and his team needed to move 40 cows from one ranch to another. And one of his teammates, Botch Scallion, was as crabby as a cowpoke with a cactus in his pants. "You know how it works," said Bob. "Move those cows from the Okie Dokie corral and around the DodgeBall cannon. Get them to the ranch dressing ranch by sundown and you pass." "Let's round 'em up," shouted Cowboy Larry. Botch just growled. Their other teammate, the Sunburned Kid, was putting t-shirts on the cows to keep the sun off their backs. The cattle drive test started out well. Cowboy Larry rode alongside of the cows, shouting cowboy things like, "Rollin', rollin', rollin', keep them dogs movin'," even though they weren't cows and not dogs. But as they neared the Dodgeball Canyon, Botch led the cattle off the trail and down into the canyon. Mr. Botch, aren't we supposed to take the cows around Dodgeball Canyon?" asked Cowboy Larry. "This is a shortcut," muttered Botch. "But cutting through Dodgeball Canyon would be cheating," said Cowboy Larry. "I don't feel good about it, and God probably has a problem with it too." "But cheating means we'll pass the test," said Botch. "Right, Sunburn?" The Sunburned Kid didn't answer. Cowboy Larry knew that taking the shortcut wouldn't just be cheating, it would be dangerous. Mountain lions prowled the canyon, and if they made too much noise, they could trigger a deadly avalanche of dodgeballs. Cowboy Larry wasn't sure what to do. Should he do the good thing and say no to the others? Should he do the bad thing and follow Botch and the Sunburned Kid? Or should he do the silly thing and help Sunbird put hats and glasses on the cows? "Come on," snarled Botch. "Who's gonna know we cheated?" "Well, okay," said Cowboy Larry. He decided to follow Botch and the Sunburned Kid, but he felt rotten about it. The team led the cows into dangerous Dodgeball Canyon. Buzzards buzzed overhead. Lizards lounged in the sun. Tumbleweeds tumbled by, and the Sunburned Kid nearly got bit trying to put sunscreen on the rattlesnakes. "Growl!" "What was that?" asked the Sunburned Kid, gulping and glancing around. "Don't worry," snarled Botch, even though he knew it might be a growling mountain lion. "Growl!" "There it is again," gasped Sunburn. "I don't like this, Botch." By this time, Cowboy Larry knew he had made the wrong choice. But he also knew it wasn't too late to change his mind. It's never too late to do the good thing. "You asked who's going to know if we cheat?" Cowboy Larry said to Botch. "Well, I'll know, and so will God. So I'm turning around. Are you coming with me or not?" "Good riddance," grumbled Botch. "Adios, amigo." As Cowboy Larry rode out of Dodgeball Canyon, Botch and the Sunburned Kid suddenly heard it again. Growl! Botch rolled his eyes. "That isn't a mountain lion growling," he said to Sunburn. "That's your stomach growling." "Gee, I think you're right," said Sunburn. "I knew I should have ordered 3 flapjack breakfasts this morning instead of 2. Growl! But the cows didn't know this. The more they heard Sunburn's stomach growls, the more afraid they became. Finally, one of the cows couldn't take it any longer. Terrified, she ran. And when one cow bolted, all of them followed. "Stampede!" shouted Botch. The cattle thundered across the land, kicking up dust. They shook the ground like an earthquake. "Avalanche!" exclaimed the sunburned kid. Thousands of dodgeballs came crashing down from the hills, burying the cowboys in bouncy rubber balls. Cowboy Larry got out of the canyon just before the avalanche. When the dust settled, he galloped back and threw a rope to Botch and Sunburn. Then he pulled them out of the dodgeballs. He got the cows out too. Hip hip hooray! Cowboy Larry had saved the day. "Good thing I didn't stay with you guys," he told Botch and Sunburn. Cowboy Larry had learned to follow God rather than follow the crowd or the herd. It was dark by the time they returned to the Okie Dokie Corral. Miss Kitty, the cowboy school owner, handed root beers to the tired cowboys. "I'm sorry," said Sheriff Bob. "I can't give you your cattle drive license today." But Cowboy Larry was as happy as he could be. He passed a more important test. He didn't cheat. Cowboy Larry had made the good choice after all. The sunburned kid, meanwhile, didn't mind that they had failed either. Night had fallen in the wild, wild west, and he was too busy smearing moonscreen on his face.